Kevin Iole at UFC Apex. UFC 317 on Saturday. Beneil Dariush will fight my man Money Moicano on the main card. And I guess I got to start with this, Money. Who looks older, me or Beneil Dariush?
Kevin, thank you for the interview, but I think me, because I was calling him old, and then I found out he's just 15 days older than me, so now I cannot use that trash talk anymore.
But you got that dye in your hair, so you don't look like we look.
But the problem is I'm balding, so look at that. From here, it's good, but when I do that, they say, hey, this motherfucker is old.
I'm losing on all aspects of this here. What's going on? What is going on? So what has it been like this year? Because you trained for this guy twice, basically, right? So you have a whole training camp. You don't fight him. Now you come back and you kind of do it again. Are you sick of Beneil Dariush at this point?
A little bit. And people keep asking questions, and I know their job, so that's why I am a fighter, and I know I have to talk with the reporters and the fans, because in the end of the day, fighters need to understand that you guys give exposure to us. If the fans watch us, and they're gonna pay for the tickets, and if you are popular, they're gonna increase your purse, you're gonna make more money. But to be honest, I'm sick of Beneil Dariush. Too much questions about Beneil Dariush.
Well, I want to talk about your dad then, because I think that's where you started making money, when you talked about your dad at 62 years old. How's he been doing recently?
He's been doing very well. The last time that I checked him, he say, hey, I might be have another baby, and I say, no, don't stop, because you're 63 or 64 now. You're not gonna see these kids growing. You have to take it easy. But my dad is just crazy.
I want to ask you, fighting Islam Makhachev.
Because in the end of the day, maybe I will have to take care of them, so that's why I'm saying stop.
Don't be so crazy.
Don't be so crazy.
But I see your dad's point of view too. Maybe it's just my age. I don't know. But I'm on your dad's side there too. You fought Makhachev on less than 24 hours notice. So a couple things that go into that. First of all, you have to think it's a long shot when you know that you haven't trained for the best fighter in the world. You haven't prepared for him. You haven't watched all the video. What leads you to take the fight anyway?
Life, you have to be ready for life, and I don't regret any minute that I accept the fight. Since then, I got a lot of money. I could grow up my YouTube channel. Now I have multiple streams of source, so I'm making very good money. I could retire, but I'm not retired because UFC still pay me very good. And I don't regret. It's just a chance, because now we're talking about because I lose. But imagine if I connect a punch and knock him out, and today I will be the champion. So I don't regret. Sometimes you come short. Sometimes you don't do what you want. Sometimes life is hard. But I can tell you, life is harder for 90% of people in the world. So I'm grateful to be able to do what I want. I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And Saturday I will beat Dariush, and I will start to climb the rankings again and to fight whoever's on the top.
You have to, when you talk about toughness and everything, your fight against Benoit Saint-Denis, I mean, that was incredible. How did you go in that fight? We saw the x-rays that came out afterwards, right, with your shoulder. How much pain were you actually in during the fight?
On the fight, I was not feeling a lot of pain because the adrenaline and stuff. But on a training camp, you still can see like my shoulder is not on the place, and I don't have the time to fix it. I will fix it after I'm done. But doesn't really bother me right now because it got, I don't know how to say, calcified. I don't know, like
calcification.
Calcification, yeah. It's not on the right place, but I don't feel in pain and I don't have any limitations. But for the training camp, I didn't train much because I was trying to save my shoulder. But it was one of my best performances, so maybe I should train less.
Well, there might be something to that, right? Sometimes guys say you don't want to spar because you want to save yourself for the fight and don't get beat up, so maybe there's something to that.
Maybe there is something to that, and I am discovering that. Like, I'm 36 years old, and I'm not training like I used to do, because I think now it's better to go to a fight fresh than extremely overtraining than hurt, So you don't make money sparring, you don't make money on training, you make money on the fight night. And that's where you have to be 100% focused and prepared. So I will be for this Saturday.
We know that you have a very popular podcast, and Jon Jones is a very popular fighter.
Yeah.
You talked about Jon Jones on your podcast. I was kind of shocked that he retired and did not fight Aspinall from this standpoint. I don't think it ruins Jon's legacy. You know, Jon is the greatest fighter of all time, but people are going to think that he retired because he didn't want to fight Aspinall, and I think that's what hurts. And I wonder, as a fighter, how do you view that?
Yeah, I view that. I don't think he want to fight Tom Aspinall, and back in the day, I didn't think he need to. You know, if he move up to the heavyweight, he beat Tsarukyan, and then he beat Stipe Miocic, and then he got the belt and say, "Hey, I'm done." That's nobody would say nothing. Right. But the problem is he was saying, "I want to fight this guy. I want to fight the guy." And then he said, "I want to vacate the belt and fight Derek Lewis." So I think that was not a good look for his career. But people forget too. Maybe in a couple of years, people are not gonna remember. I don't know, but I don't know if Jones is too worried about his legacy. You know, I don't know. So I don't. I personally didn't like. I wanted to see the fight. You know, I think everybody wanted to see the fight.
Do you think Aspinall had a chance?
100%. I think Aspinall impressed me as a heavyweight because he's very fast. He got jiu-jitsu. He got like kimuras. He got rear naked choke. So it's not common to see a heavyweight like that. And if Jon Jones beat him, imagine that. And Jon Jones could beat him. I think Jones should be favorite against Aspinall. But Aspinall, of course, had a chance.
I think if Aspinall was a little more tan, we might think he's Brazilian with that jiu-jitsu he has, right?
Yes, he got a very good jiu-jitsu for heavyweight. Usually heavyweights are not that good. They strong, but they're not that technical. So Aspinall is out of the curve.
I heard you earlier today talking about Ilia Topuria, and I want to ask you a question about him relative to Makhachev. Everybody right now says Makhachev is the best fighter in the world. You were in, so you have a baseline. You know what Makhachev is like. Do you see in Ilia the kind of things that you saw in Makhachev, and do you think there's any comparison in terms of talent-wise between the two?
I think, let me tell you something. If this fight in 155, and if Topuria... Because one thing is like Topuria is doing right now. He's like moving up classes, but he not prepare his body, you know. Maybe sometimes it's good to have adaptation like Jon Jones did with Tsarukyan. But I think if he had the time, I think he would beat Makhachev, Topuria.
Really?
I think so. Because remember the first fight against Volkanovski? Volkanovski is shorter than Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria has a great takedown defense and is a good boxer and has a good jiu-jitsu. So based on that first fight, I think Topuria would win. And you can ask me, but on the second fight, Makhachev knocked him out. Right. But he was coming off a loss, Volkanovski, and he took a fight on 10-day notice on Abu Dhabi, and he was battling like depression or some stuff. We saw that after the fight. So based on the first one, I think Topuria would win. But who knows? It's a fight.
Let's wrap up with this. And if you win this fight, you're back on your winning ways. Topuria wins. He wants Paddy Pimblett next, yes. Right? So that may happen. Do you feel like you're not far away from the chance to get another shot at the title? Like if you win 2 or 3 more, do you feel like you'll now make yourself a contender again? Especially considering Justin Gaethje's talking about walking away and whatnot, so the division may, change in a little bit.
Yes, Kevin, that's what I want, but I don't know. That's up to the UFC. But MMA is a fantastic sport. Like I say, sometimes you are one speech to fight for the belt, one speech to make money, one speech or one performance to fight for the belt. So I don't focus too much on what I can handle, what I can do. What I can do is Saturday beat the shit of Beneil Dariush, give a good speech to the people, get more fans to my side, and keep going. If the title happens again, very good. If not, I'm good too.
Doing good. That is Moicano Saturday at UFC 317 on pay-per-view from Las Vegas.